What's the good word, y'all? Welcome to the New York Jets Syndicate channel. It's your boy DKB here, and I wanted to cover one of our newest weapons, Mecole Hardman. There's a rumor that came out that said that a significant reason why Mecole Hardman was attracted to the New York Jets was essentially the promise that he would see an expanded role in the offense, and that is not hard to top, right? You take a look at how Kansas City has utilized Mecole Hardman in the past as a elite speed guy. He's kind of been relegated to things like jet sweeps, bubble screens, and vertical routes. So basically, they want to get the ball in his hands at or behind the line of scrimmage, let his speed do his work, or they want to get him down deep where he can really dictate coverage on what's going to happen. And that's not a bad thing, but as the rumors say, and as I'm sure Mecole Hardman would feel if this is legit, he wants to show that he's more of a nuanced route runner than just being able to do those certain things, right? And it's hard to say that that is a possibility if that's all you're seeing. Now, maybe he's getting some runs like that in practice, and it's just not coming out in the game plan when they face their opponents because of what they already like, being able to, get the ball in his hands quick or hit him deep. But we're talking about a lot of route combinations, depending on if you want to make him a boundary, a slot receiver, mixing it up and give him the versatility to do both within the same, game plan for the opponent. It could work out in our favor. I mean, we're talking about routes like outs, digs, post, corner, and comeback routes. So that gives you a lot of versatility to say, here's how we want to attack some of these matchups that he may be facing against, right? It's going to be hard pressed to see a lot of guys coming out of the slot as nickelbacks and different things like that are going to be able to keep up with Mecole Hardman. And you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers that still has some power behind him. If we want to think the unimaginable and we think Zach Wilson, you're still talking about a guy with a rocket arm that can definitely get him the ball. But I'll be interested to see what we do here. When I first read this, it was a little bit concerning. I know his snap counts vary between, I think the lowest was 46%, the highest was 58%. So we're talking some pretty strong usage by the Kansas City Chiefs during his tenure already. So if it was from a snap count standpoint, I would be concerned about being able to make good on this promise, right? And I know it's only a 1-year deal. I think the contract legitimately is for $4 million or $4.5 million, and then with incentives he can hit 6.5. But when you take a look at just all the weapons and some contextual history, Aaron Rodgers has been targeting his running backs more and more, especially last season. I think the number I kept seeing was 60% of his passes went to his running backs. And of course, a lot of that was based on the fact that his top weapons were two rookies in Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, and different things of that nature, right? An aging offensive line, not really having Robert Tonyan the whole time, who in and of his own right is maybe more of a red zone threat than just an overall weapon. But for us, we're talking Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Alan Lazard, being options ahead of him. You take a look at the tight end room. You can say that Conklin will probably see an uptick in targets as that safety net option that's a better overall receiver than what Aaron Rodgers has had recently in this tight end room. You take a look at the running backs. If we do keep up a pretty strong usage of our running backs, especially in the receiving room now, you're talking Breece Hall and Michael Carter as more of those receiving backs that'll be able to come out there and impact the game plan. So at best, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Alan Lazard, Conklin, Breece Hall, you're talking about 5 guys ahead of him in terms of target share on the team. So we'll see how that plays out. I do hope it ultimately comes down to just expanding his route tree and him wanting to show that he's more than just kind of a gadget guy, and he can actually go out there and do some of the nuanced things that you see these upper tier wide receivers do. It'll add a nice element to our offense, a lot more unpredictability. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we understood he was a big play threat. Over the course of his career, we're talking about almost every 9 receptions, he's scoring a touchdown. And that 4.33 speed that he's going to bring is going to be something we definitely don't want to dilute just for the sake of saying that the man can run some routes. And so, again, not necessarily a bad thing, if you want to think Elijah Moore and what we saw the routes run and things that he was able to do, especially on the outside his rookie year, as opposed to what was happening his sophomore year. I feel really good about Mecole Hardman, especially being fourth weapon wise in the wide receiver room, and then again probably fifth or sixth overall on this roster, depending on how involved we get the running backs into the passing game. So we'll see. I feel strong. I think we can make good on the promise, right? There's a lot of versatility, a lot of moving pieces that can be done when you factor in adding motion, adding some more motion into the offense with a guy like Mecole Hardman so that he's not getting pressed at the line of scrimmage. Things look really, really good. And then, of course, it helps that you ideally are going to have Aaron Rodgers tossing you the football. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Should the New York Jets stick to what works best in terms of him kind of being an elite gadget guy, or should we give him the opportunity to expand a little bit more and maybe we find a diamond in the rough in terms of a guy that can do more than what he's been allowed to demonstrate? So catch you guys again, and peace out.